Alright, so back again, welcome to the 10th Toxic compilation. But before we get into that, if you're going to buy anything from this game today, make sure you get it from rocketprices.com. Their link's in the description. You can pretty much get anything you want from this place that's in or has been in this game for a cheaper price that you find elsewhere or from the game itself. Made it even cheaper with 6% off code JET at checkout. So as it's been number 10, that obviously means there's 9 before. If you enjoy this or enjoy the thought of these, go and watch the other 9. The plays will be tagged at the end. You can go and watch them there. And that is quite straightforward. This is probably the longest one. I think it is the longest one we've done so far because there's 6 games in this one. Lots and lots of rage for you to watch and enjoy. Let's get into the first game and see what angry people we've dealt with this time. So we have our first game here, and it's very interesting. The society guy, you see his name spelled with numbers, loses his head over his teammate very quickly, despite him not saving this and his teammate being in cover. Still continues to go on to say, "Don't leave me alone." Always, which literally, he wasn't alone then, he just didn't save it. We then make it 3-2 and retake the lead, and he's absolutely fuming again. As you can see, bro, he says in the chat, he's absolutely lost his head of his teammate. Quite right as well, to be fair, because he just go straight past the ball there. My teammate throws in a bit of banter saying sis. I mean, it's pretty shocking banter in my opinion, but it's better than what I get sometimes, and society's loving it as well. Then 4-2 came, and he wants to forfeit, even though there's 3 minutes to go, and there are only 2 goals down. That's how angry he is at his teammate in this instance. However, his teammate's having none of it. Society saying that he can't. And to make things worse, we make it 5-2, and best believe we aren't going to get any better in the chat. As you can see from this chat, proving my point there, he's absolutely fuming. He scored 6-2, and he's calling him a fucking idiot now, quite rightly again, but he's also scoring own goal, which just makes him even more the idiot, because I mean, the game's getting dragged on for longer. However, his tactic did work. It did eventually make his teammate forfeit, and just when I thought it was over, then the post-game chat came along, and look, jeez, he says, he's absolutely fuming. My teammate saying that he's hit his sore spot, which he most definitely has. This is where it gets interesting. The other guy on the other team now saying for him to go play a 1v1 against each other and see who's best in that. My teammate's egging him on to do it, but he's having absolutely none of it. Still going on about the game he was on about, saying that the sore spot that he hit was the only thing that he hit all game, which is quite a good banter in my opinion, but there we go. Then he agreed to do a 1v1, and unfortunately we'd end up joining to another game at this point. So didn't actually end up seeing if they actually did it or not, and what happened in that game. He didn't go ahead with a 1v1, but that is that for that game. We didn't see him after that. So this again, a drop shot game appearing in the Toxic compilation. Actually another one later, meaning that the majority of games in the Toxic compilation again are from drop shot. This one starts from us going 1-0 up, and the other team kind of already starting to put stuff in the chat at each other, and you can always see who's going to go downhill from here. And Neddy G calling us a try-hard nerd just because he scored a single goal, and clearly better than what he is. I said cry in the chat to try and instigate a bite, and best believe I fucking got a bite. We made it 2-0. My god, it all came out here. Before that, I decided to put Mac as bad to try and make it even more angry. And again, I definitely did get a nibble here. Go to hell, he said. I don't know if that's directed at me or his teammate, but at this point, me and Mike Cake are just laughing at it. I'm kind of sarcastically saying about his insult, go to hell, being absolutely like pathetic. As you can see, I go, oh no, calm down with the insults. And this is where things got rather interesting, because this guy couldn't seem to form a single sentence. As you can see here, nope, your don't ranks in this game, noob. And that is a sentence with absolutely zero meaning. It means absolutely fuck all. That sentence, I can't even think what he was trying to say there at all. And you can see that's my response in the chat to what he just said there. It makes absolutely no fucking sense. Instead of responding, he decides to add understand, as if that's going to help anything in this context. He just wants me to understand what he was saying. And after that, I kind of gave up and just started laughing at him. But that was interesting to say the least. The guy just telling me to understand his absolute waffle of a sentence, but that's that. So this guy here really takes the biscuit. We played against this guy 3 games in a row, and the 3rd game is where he really lost his head. The 2nd game we saw signs of it, and he was spamming what a save to the party of 3 that I was playing with in Rumble. And so after he scored, as you can see, we're proper going in at him here. Cry so easy to hit the ball, all sorts of things coming out here. Nothing we say deserves what he then goes on to say. Go get cancer, he says. And that's not the first time he's going to say that either. We'll see that in the next game when we do end up queuing with him again. But this time I didn't know that was going to happen. I thought that was all done and dusty. But when we see it load in again and see him load in again, we knew what was coming. And unfortunately, they go 1-0 up. And we do struggle to score for a long time in this game. We'll come on to that in a second. But as he was the goal scorer as well, he comes up with some very strange comment. And you'll be better to see it for yourself. Go suck my dick, please, little kids. There's a lot of things to address about this sentence first. First of all, he's saying little kids to suck his dick. If that's not suspect in itself, I don't know what is. We also have to consider the fact that he scored a spikes goal, which is very, very easy to score, and then act as if he's done the fucking bollocks goal of the season. Even his teammates questioning his decision. He ain't got a clue what's going on there. They do make it 2-0, and he tells us to cry. At this moment, he should have kept his mouth shut, because as you can imagine, we did end up coming back to win the game, spamming what a save every time we did score, as well as telling him to not bottle. He responds with K, but best believe he did bottle. What a save comes out again when we do score, and then we really go to town on him in the chat. I spam cry in the chat so quickly I even get chat disabled from text chat, which I've never really seen before, and saying that he's bottled the game, and he has. Anyway, this is the stage he then proceeds to ask us how old we are, which is pretty ironic. I'll come to that in a second. We do make it 3-2, as I said. We did end up winning the game, spamming what a save yet again. He's pressuring me to answer this question, which is pretty strange, and especially because he's asked me a little kid to suck his dick. It's a bit debatable. He's like, he wants me to say 12 so I can actually suck his cock for once. But as you can see, how old are you? He continues to persist with this question, and this is where his other teammate just joins in on the app. He's calling us toxic 10-year-old kids, which we've done absolutely nothing to him, and he can see what's going on in the chat here, and yet he still continues to back his teammate who's telling us to get cancer and telling little kids to suck his cock, and maybe he was quite pleased with the fact he's calling us 10-year-olds. I don't know what's going on there. I make the quite a reasonable point of, says the one who's wishing cancer, calling us 10-year-olds. Pretty ironic if you ask me. Make it 4-2, what a save comes flying out yet again, and even the other team are joining on it now, and this is where chat just explodes. This is where it absolutely explodes. You can see the get cancer comes out yet again, and all sorts of things are getting thrown around in the chat. I'll just let you read that, what's being said up there. All of the things, the other team are now starting to go at each other. It's all kicking off. No one's really got a clue what's going on. They do score with 9 seconds to go, but it doesn't really matter too much. He tells his teammate to suck his dick. This guy must be getting absolutely no action from anybody if he's asking random people online, probably men as well, to suck his dick. He then just puts cancer out of nowhere. Unfortunately, after the game, he tried to wind him up even more, but he didn't bite and he left the game. And my teammate, as you can see, angriest kid ever. He most definitely was. So here we have another drop shot game. This one actually being from my Lost Changes game mode video. I mentioned that at the time. This is going to be in this video because it's very, very weird. And again, another drop shot game. It's a common theme here. So we take the lead quite easily, and the chat kind of explodes a little bit here, but nothing comes from it. They then make it 2-1, and at a very strange time to start flaming your team, and you just scored. One of their teammates tells mate STFU as they just score, which is very, very strange, as I said, and we make it 3-1, and then it starts to kick off in the chat here, and it gets worse. But it starts off badly. Uninstall, you pathetic disgrace, gets thrown about. Oh my fucking god, he says as well, just to emphasise it. And then we have what a save and all sorts of things spammed during the whole game. And it wasn't going to get any better here. It just got worse and worse throughout the game. We make it 5-1. Turns a forfeit whilst what a save's been spammed, as you can see still. That's where I get told that he won't forfeit. And this is where the logic really comes into play here. The Rocket League drop shot community player logic. First of all, he tells us to DM him when they both get the ban. We don't get banned for spamming what I say. I don't know why people think that's a thing. But this is where it gets confusing. You two are going to take the L, I don't care. Fair enough, right? Then this guy comes out with some fucking rogue comment. He's not forfeiting because his mother beat him too hard, which makes absolutely no sense. Because surely if he's getting beaten too hard, he wants to submit very quickly. I don't know what's going on there. That just makes no sense. That's just an attempt at being funny, which isn't. But yeah, the guy decided he wasn't going to forfeit so they can take the L, but they take the L if they forfeit and you just get out of the game quicker. That's the logic I'm talking about. It makes absolutely no sense, people who do that. I don't understand that. I never will. And then he comes out, if you don't have plus 13 years, you shouldn't be awake. To be fair, I was playing this game about midnight. Maybe they're tired and angry, and he's probably right. If they are not 13, they shouldn't be awake. At this point, I was thinking, great post-game chat coming, but unfortunately, they all just left the game and didn't say anything else. That's all we had from them, that lobby, unfortunately. Could have been a lot worse, but it was bad enough to put in here. So this second to last game is something I have never ever seen in my life before. It's not actually that toxic in terms of flaming and what actually is said, but I have never seen commitment of trying to wind people up like this. As you can see, we go 1-0 down here. Me and my teammates spam shit at each other as a joke, and then it really gets out of hand when they make it 2-0. I'm just going to fast forward the chat here. This is throughout the entirety of the game. It's a whole 5-minute game. You can see what they do. For the entirety of the game, they are doing this. And as I say, it's 4 times speed right now, so you can see how much they are spamming it. Best believe the time is still ticking on. This whole game, they were spamming shit. I have never, ever seen a lobby like this, but they do this the entirety of a game. Even whilst the mid-game, they're still doing it. Look, you can still see them spamming shit, even whilst they're playing the game. They took every opportunity they could to try and wind us up, and whilst they were doing it, spamming shit. I have never seen anyone like this. It's just commitment of the next degree. And we didn't even do anything to wind them up. They're just trying to piss us off, which is quite funny in itself. But yeah, that's a lobby I've never seen before. As you can see, they're still going, and it just went on forever and ever. I was wondering if it was ever going to stop, but it didn't, and unfortunately we did lose that game as well, so we can't really say anything back to them, which is the hardest part, to try and resist, because they were really pissing me off, and I could have been in my own toxic compilation if I had responded. We gave him a bit of a what a save at the end here, you'll see in a second, but unfortunately we did lose that game. But yeah, that's something I've never seen before. So this is a very strange, angry, classic, like champ level teammate. As you can see, we go 1-1 here. This is the key point. We go 1-1 here, of which is my teammate's mistake. And then he comes out with this. Cancer spotted. As if we've done anything wrong. I don't understand what his point was here. But this is what I was thinking, right, we just get past this. But no. Second goal goes in, my fault. I appreciate that. I can hold my hands up to that. But what a save comes flying out, and best believe after this guy had enough of this game. He wasn't even going to play anymore. And look at the time, and look at the score. Plenty of time to get back in the game. Me and my teammate are asking him if he's okay, because it's pretty ridiculous, a pretty mentally insane thing for someone to do, just to forfeit that quickly. But he was committed. He decided he was going to STFU us and then just go on the other team and stop playing for the entirety of this game. I honestly do not understand some people. They are willing to take a loss just to piss people off. As you can see, it just got worse and worse at this point. He told us a fuck off dog, which is just pretty extreme because we've done absolutely nothing wrong. Usually it's some kind of instigation. If it's some kind of instigation, I wouldn't put it in this video, because it's not like that's not an accurate representation of the community. But this, my god, this came out of nowhere. I was calling him Gimp Boy because he's a fucking spastic for doing this. I've never seen anyone do this before. What on earth's wrong with people doing this? Just forfeiting because like we didn't even make a mistake. We can see this is what this is. We can see the single rockety goal on 3v3, and this guy decided had enough. He was absolutely had enough at that point. Like, he can't concede a goal in a game, otherwise he's losing his head. That's what we learned here. And our attempts to forfeit didn't work. He was just obsessed with staying in the game, which is my point from last game. What's the point? You're going to lose anyway. You might as well just fucking forfeit. I asked what was wrong with him, and he said you, as if I'd done anything wrong, as I said. I called him an absolute melt. And this kind of went on for the entirety of the game. I asked him what I even did, and he put woo, as if I'm expected to like know what that means. He didn't really respond after that. He kind of went quiet. I think I kind of mugged him off when I asked him what did I actually do wrong. Maybe he realised that he just lost his head and completely acted out of proportion. He didn't really say anything to us after that. But I did tell him at the end to smile for YouTube, you weapon. Call him an absolute waste man, but he did just leave the game, and we didn't hear anything else from me after that, unfortunately. So that is the 10th toxic compilation. As I said at the start, if you've enjoyed these, go and watch the other 9 that are available, and guarantee you enjoy them as well. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one.